Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. So in the July 24 budget, a comprehensive review of the Income Tax Act was mentioned, and that announcement is the trigger which has led to reviewing the 1961 Income Tax Act, which, since its passing in 1961, has over the decades accumulated a lot of newer features, such as the TDS, the MAT, the transfer pricing rules, advance pricing, which are several agreements, and several dispute resolution routes. So, each of these have served a purpose but have made the law itself very complex. So, it was very tough to navigate for an ordinary citizen who's wanting to file his returns. But the largely dense and complex structure of that Income Tax 1961 Act resulted in various interpretations, and several avoidable disputes kept mounting. So, not so much for the rate, but for the language of the Act, we were subject to too many litigations. So, sir, the team of dedicated officers, I must appreciate the CBDT and also the Department of Revenue, who together did the drafting of the new bill, as I said, taking 75,000 person hours, with a team of dedicated officers. So the Income Tax Department worked very earnestly and repeatedly went through for any overlaps or errors in the language and kept itself constantly reviewing and correcting, reiterating, and so on. So, before I get into the features of the bill, and I wouldn't take long to give the data, this is a bill which is going to be very consequential. An Income Tax Act, every year some amendment in the finance bill itself, we all pay a lot of attention, go into the details, what will it mean, what is the implication on me, how many people will end up paying more, paying less, what are the other provisions with which action will be taken on me, and so on. All of us are quite aware of that. So for even one little amendment to the Income Tax Act, there is so much attention given for the finance bill during the budget session every year. So this is a very consequential act in that we are changing the 1961 Act itself in a way, removing it and bringing a new act. We won't remove it in total because there will still be some cases or some incidents which relate to that period, and therefore that 61 Act will continue in some form only to the limited purpose of attending to those period relevant matters. So if this is the seriousness with which this country is looking at bringing a assessee friendly, taxpayer friendly act, replacing the 1961 Act, and it is a milestone which this country's financial system will face, I am shocked that the opposition doesn't want to participate in it. And let me tell you, sir, initially understanding the importance and the consequential nature of this, the opposition parties agreed in the Business Advisory Council, Business Advisory Committee, that they will indeed participate in the Lok Sabha and also in the Rajya Sabha on this bill and debate it.
Allotted time.
And they were allotted 16 hours in Lok Sabha, 16 hours of debate in Rajya Sabha. Most often the opposition says, no, you don't want to discuss anything. We are asking for public, people's interest, public's interest. We want to have charcha on this matter. We agreed for 16 hours of charcha in Lok Sabha, 16 hours of charcha here. Okay, you had some protest, you want to march to the Election Commission, you went. But you came back. Participate. You agreed to give 16 hours time for this discussion. Why are they away, sir, today? And when we talk about tax and tax related matters, they will say, no, you're imposing tax burden on the people. Let me tell you, prior to COVID onwards, 2019 onwards, Prime Minister Modi has given clear instructions. COVID or no COVID, we shall not increase the tax burden on people. Not one paisa has been increased. And in fact, the new income tax scheme which was brought in so that people who still want to enjoy the benefits of some kind of deductions can remain in the old scheme. But people who want to be paying less tax with or without deductions, we came up with a user-friendly new regime. And there consequentially every year we've been reducing both the rate and widening the slabs, income slabs. This year, historically, as a big milestone, Prime Minister Modi said at least 12 lakhs tak no tax should be paid by any Indian citizen, which means up to 1 lakh per month salary, no one will have to pay any tax. The structure was made simple, rates were reduced, rebates were given, so no tax for up to 12 lakhs income. And further, for others in a different income bracket, rates were reduced. So that is the way in which every budget we are making it easier for the taxpayer. Now, the point that I wanted to highlight is, if there's so much concern, and rightly as an opposition party they should have the concern for taxpayers, that they should not be burdened. The rate was brought down till 12 lakhs in the budget, which was in the finance bill of February 2025. Now, as promised in the July budget 2024, we are simplifying the whole tax law itself so that compliance will be easy. Even that is a very big step, as I said. And for that, when allocation of time also has been given, opposition is failing its duty in serving the people of India that they don't want to participate in this discussion, neither in Lok Sabha nor here. So, having said all this, I want to say, to remove any confusion in the minds of anybody, this amendment and bringing in a new law in the place of old 1961 aims at simplifying the language, the lucidity which is required for anyone to understand it, no anomalies or any overlapping language that leads to misinterpretations. So this aims at only that. There are no new rates being brought in here, no tax issues which are being brought in here. That will come every year as it does in the finance bill. This is purely for making the document simpler. And I must say, sir, like the way we've done today in the insolvency and the bankruptcy code, where we are bringing the next generation of IBC, bigger reform, that also has gone to the select committee. Lok Sabha has had that introduced today and it has been sent to a select committee. Even this act, when it was introduced in February, in July itself I did say that wide consultations will be held. This act, when it was brought in, was sent to a select committee. And I must thank and put on record my gratitude for the extensive work that select committee in the chairmanship of Baijent Panda, MP from Lok Sabha, and his entire team, which consisted of members from all parties represented in the parliament. They all did extensive work, they consulted, they went around the country, they met with experts, domain experts, tax experts, they met with so many people and taken intensive inputs from these people. So, the committee consisted of 31 members from across, as I said, from across the political spectrum, the entire bloc even in between one of the years there was a surge, they didn't have to have confusion. Then there was this 75,000 rupees deduction, standard deduction offered for the income tax. People had a confusion saying, is this available for salaried people? What will happen? So we have given a clarification there. So hardly about 3 of them. And 4th is the unified pension related things, where confusion on deduction, if there is a parity with NPS and so on. So for that we've brought in 3 points which will be part of the taxation law which is here. So above 4 changes are, sir, this is a very important line. I want the honorable members to concentrate on this. The above 4 changes which are coming through this tax law amendment are for the Income Tax Act of 1961. We are talking about income tax bill which is getting replaced because of language and other things and bringing 2025. But the old and the current prevailing act, 1961, requires these amendments. But these have also been, this is where I want the attention of the honorable members. So these amendments are coming into the 1961 acts. But these have also been incorporated in the new income tax bill also. So we need not worry about confusion. We have not overlooked any of this. So with these words, sir, I want to submit. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to explain. I request that the bill be returned.